what's left of my heart. I know you wanted in here for years. So welcome. Sit in my chair, look at my art. Never mind the flame-licked drapes or shattered chandelier. Kick off your shoes, stay a while and sing the blues with me. But before you do, heed my warning. I'm the ruin. I only haunt this heart. I would give my soul, but it's already gone. I will have you because I'm lonely, but I will use you up and make a ruin of you. Listen, you can't clean up this place. I mean, I'll let you try.
Hey,
If you want to.
good to see you.
Listen, you have a beautiful face. It's not the one I want, but I can make do. Go hang your coat, stay a while and tell a joke for me. Make yourself at home.
I am hanging in there. How you doing?
I told you so. I only haunt this heart. I would give you my soul, but it's already gone. I will have you if you ask me, but I will use you up and make a ruin of you. You don't have to live like this. You deserve every happiness. I once knew joy, commitment with your body to the worship children.
I'm gonna switch to the viewer screen even while the music's still playing.
I'm just this is my living hell. I'm the ruin. I only haunt this heart. I would give my soul, but it's already gone. I will have you because I'm weak, but I will use you up and make a ruin of
All right. Oh, hey everyone. Welcome to the TTRPG Theater. I am your host, Rob, otherwise known as Phantom NJ. Hey, Dungeon Mr. Ty. Good to see you. Good to see you. It is Thursday. Again. Oh, man. It seems like we blink and we're here, and yeah. It's been a week. It's been a week. I hope all of you here in the U.S. Managed to get your taxes in. You know, me being the person that I am, once again got my taxes in yesterday, and it's the stupidest thing ever because I've been doing these for so long. Like I started doing my own when I was a kid, or well, not even kid, just basically as soon as I could stop being claimed by my parents. And, you know, through so many different situations, through being married, through being divorced and all that stuff, and, you know, like doing other people's taxes for them as well. It takes me less than an hour Like if as long as I'm being careful, the reason it takes me any time at all is because I'm like ultra careful, making sure that I put in the right numbers and whatever. But I don't. I wish I understood, and I know part of it. Part of it is my still as yet undiagnosed ADHD, but I'm there's reasons why it's still undiagnosed. Just basically stopping me from doing it ahead of time, and when I know I can get it done quickly. Oof. Water. Need water. So as usual, yesterday at 5 o'clock or so, filling it out, sending it out, and it's done. Mine are really really easy. It's it's just me. I don't have any. I don't have any things to worry about other than owning my house. Hey, DM Jeremy, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. But yeah, so I mean, it's like, why don't we tag like them in the UK? My that's that's hey, listen, that's a really good reason to do them early. Um, I for me, it's more like making it more like replenishes the money I spent on Gary Con, I guess. Uh, I don't even want to think what my sister has to go through being a U.S. citizen, working in the U.K., working for a multinational corporation as well. So it's got to be a headache. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, mine are simple. It's like, I think the hardest part of mine, honestly, the weirdest thing is, I think the hardest part of mine is, and this is not a brag of any sorts, is tracking down all the various donations that I did over the year and making sure that I account for all of my various donations. Because other than that, it's basically my W2 form, my what do you call it, any bank interest, and the I'm not making enough on Twitch for it to be a factor yet, thankfully. Um, yeah, it's been years since I had to deal with doing the LLC. Um, I will say doing an LLC honestly didn't make mine all that much more difficult. I think the hardest part there was making sure that I was getting deductions for all the things I could deduct. But even then, I didn't have an office per se, or at least because I was working on site, I didn't have like an office I could call. I couldn't call my home office an office, so then it was just basically any equipment that I needed that I could justify for work purposes, and that was about it. So it was not bad. Um, but yeah, now it's just basically my my property, putting my property taxes and all that stuff in, and I am in and out in about 40 minutes or so. So yeah, but anyway, it's done, and I hope everyone else got theirs done, and I hope there was nothing unexpected. Oh man. And then of course, to the trying to get things done this week. Unfortunately, on Monday, I picked up. I put my dog in boarding for the weekend because I was working a 12-hour day on Sunday, and I didn't want him to be stuck. And picked him up on Monday. I did get my hair cut this weekend. Yes, thank you. Appreciate you noticing. Um, the No, I did not color it. My hair is going very gray. It's not going very gray. It is very gray. It's been gray for a while. There is nothing that hurt more than the first time I had to get a brand new ID, and it turned out to be one for work, and I almost reflexively put down brown for my hair color, and I'm like, oh, Oh no. No, no, no. It's not brown anymore. Those days have passed. Um, yeah, well, that's probably in part because I've got lighting here, and then the probably the glow of this Trollord Games Endless World shirt, which is very yellow, so it's probably helping to give that blonde effect. I remember, yeah, when I was younger, every once in a while during the summer, especially when they had those things that you put in your hair that turned it like a lighter shade. It wasn't really hair coloring or sorts. Wasn't even really bleaching it. I don't know. I forgot what those things were called, but you could like spray it in your hair, and your hair would go a little bit blonde. But that's as close as I ever got to blonde. My hair's always been a pretty dark brown. But yeah, but picking up my dog on Monday, jumping into the car, my dog didn't quite clear the entrance of the car at the bottom, and he hurt himself a little bit. So he's been home since then. We had to take an unplanned vet visit, and he's been resting. It's weird because normally by this point, he's missed a couple of days of daycare already. Actually, no, he's only really missed one day of daycare, but we're normally at the point where if he's gone this far without daycare, he's bouncing all over the place, and the medications that he's on, the painkillers, I think, has got him a little bit more sedate. But at least now he's going up and downstairs, so the boy's doing better. He's I wish I could get him to stop eating grass, but that's a different story altogether. Hey, Bill, good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. So yeah, it's Thursday again, and we got here really quick, and this is another Thursday where right after the stream we will be going into Lord Gazumba, because I am playing once again tonight. This time will be Durgrim Flintblade, my original character. The first of my three characters for that campaign. He is a dwarven fighter thief, fighter 8, thief 9. Assuming he survives this adventure, he will probably be hit 10th level in thief for the next adventure. I think this is a Thursday, Saturday thing. Hey, Jay, just talking about you and assuming I take nothing for granted these days. It's, I mean, Arabella's about, so there's a good chance she's going to get us all killed. It's a thing. Oh. Unless we can get her killed first. I'm not saying that we tried last time to make sure she stayed dead. It didn't take. Hey, Longshot. Yeah. I am feeling a bit better. Today was a little bit of a woozy thing. Oh yeah. Jay. I mean, you know Durgrim's thoughts on Arabella. She's the root of all evil. At least the root of all evil when it comes to what happens to dwarves. I'm not. Durgrim is many things. He's not quite that evil. If he stabs Arabella, it will be face to face. That's for sure. Oh my goodness! It's been a while since I've had a character who's felt such a real, true loathing for another character like that. You've been following the Gom and Thunderlip story. Even Gom with Thunderlips is not quite the same because Arabella is like, for Durgrim, is almost a visceral thing at this point. Because all she does is get dwarves killed. She is one single-handedly lessening the dwarven mountain dwarf population in. At least in the Altamira area. A legend in the camp. Okay. I is this a legend I'm familiar with? Because it's only recently that I've started catching on to more of the overall history of things. It was more about the individual characters and just people playing their characters and trying to keep up with who was who. Uh, you know, delving deep into dwarven lore. Okay, well, all right. This ought to be interesting. Um, maybe he'll take Arabella off our hands, or she'll take Arabella off hands. I don't know. I wouldn't want to wish that on other dwarves. That's for sure. Hill dwarves they might be, but they're still dwarves. Um, yeah. So, like I said, it's been a week dealing with not feeling well on Friday, and then dealing with the dog and his injury, and like I said, he's going up and down stairs without a complaint now, so that's a good sign. I haven't heard him yelp in a few days, so I'm hopeful that he's fully on the mend. Well, Arabella sort of has a dwarven paramour. It's probably the only reason she's still alive at this point, and not been charged with crimes against dwarven kind. And that would be Mike Disney's character Skarn. As a matter of fact, Skarn is probably the only reason Arabella wasn't left for dead after the last adventure, where the most of the party wanted her to just die or stay dead, or it yeah. We'll see after this adventure. Am I right that you're going to be torturing Mike this time? Because like I said, Durgam is fully on board with bad things happening to Arabelle at this point. It's not even a question anymore. We did, last week we had gotten through some of the stuff. How do we raise her to demi? Oh, no, 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 no. Don't even joke about that, Myos. Hey, Savage Splendor, good to see you. I have no doubt about that. It's usually a fun one. We got a good group playing tonight. Jay, is it tonight and the Saturday? Or did that plan? I don't. I know you had mentioned it, but I wasn't sure if that was still the plan. I mean, I'm good for it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm good for it. Just want to make sure. Um, but yeah, no, I mean it's Saturday. It's already the middle of April. I mean, this is ridiculous. And we've got looking at coming up May 3rd looks to be the next Embers of Empire adventure. With at least the Righteous Hands. I'd love to put another group together beforehand, but I need to reach out to some people to find out what their availability is, because everybody is so damn busy. It is hard. It's funny because there are people I know who want to play, and that's enthusiasm is not the issue. Finding people who are able to play at times where I can get enough group together is a very, very different thing these days. Because it seems like everybody is everywhere, and just making sure to find those times. We won't be doing it on Memorial Day, because I will be working Memorial Day. That might be subject to change, but I'm going to be probably working on Memorial Day itself. I took one for the team because, finally have a name for the new all-female group. Oh, that's cool. What did they decide on? But as far as Memorial Day goes, living in northern New Jersey, I will not be on the road anywhere for Memorial Day. Armed and Dangerous, nice. I like it. Oh. Because driving on Memorial Day around here sucks. And, lately, not much has been going on in terms of people doing stuff around here. So I was like, something, we needed somebody to fill in. I will take that hit, and I will take the comp time and the bonus comp time that's coming along with it. Well, Lord Forth, unfortunately, the group that I work for, we are 24/7, 365, so there's always somebody working. Did we settle on a name for our group? Are you talking about the Friday Night Crusades group? I don't think you did. I don't know that you ever. I don't know that the group ever decided on a name. I mean, it's basically it's Defenders of Griffin's Crossing. I don't know. Oh man. Oh, the one with DM Chris. Wait, I don't know what group you're talking about. Oh. Okay, all right. Oh, now I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the group from the where you all played together at GaryCon, as well as the virtual Greyhawk Con group, which you were basically it was at least half of that group was there, which was really cool, by the way. That's a good point. I need to see about putting you all together for a game. That and listen, if you want to put together, you all want to put together a name for yourselves, that's fine. I'd love that. Yeah. Which, if we're going to do that, I would love to, that would putting a game together with that group would be awesome. Oh, which character? Sounds Splendid. Which character was yours? We ended up with I think it was 3 people from the team. Okay. Oh, hey, listen, that would okay, beautiful. All right. I need to note that down. Because we had at GaryCon, we ended up having, I think it was 3 members, or 3 or 4 members of the group. I don't know. Actually, I don't think Chris's character was part of the Agents of Almor adventure. He's played. I mean, he's played that character in other adventures, but um, I want to get together. He was a monk in the game that you played. All right, I'll have to look. I mean, I've got more people that were in the sessions, because I did what 4 or 5 sessions for Virtual Greyhawk Con or something like that. Uh, was it 4 or 5, 7, 6? I don't remember anymore. It was a lot of sessions. Uh, Actually, I want to say it was 6 sessions, because I want to say there was 2 on Friday, 3 on Saturday, and then 1 on Sunday. I can go back and watch the videos and figure out which was which. Might have been 2 on Sunday, but I want to say it was just 1. Hey, Touch of Evil, good to see you. But yeah, no, okay, and Clark of St. Cuthbert would be a good addition, because that party, I think, well, at least the ones that I had, the ones that were available that were at GaryCon, we didn't have a healer among them. So yeah. Oh no, okay. Chris was a monk. Yes. Well, Chris, I'm sorry. I just realized which Chris you're talking, because we have multiple Chris's. Because GDTRFB 1995 is also Chris, and he also has multiple characters. As a matter of fact, at GaryCon, there were 2 Chris's in that game, because the Chris you're talking about, Chris and his wife, Lakeisha, were both in that game, and yes, she has a rogue. Her rogue's what we call Chris's character is Zygon, and her Lakeisha's rogue is Minya. They also played in, that's DM Chris 1972. Yep. I lost which Chris we were talking about. But at Gary Con in that one game, we had both of the Chris's. The other Chris was playing, what do you call it, Sir Aiden, who is currently a paladin of paladin. He's going to be switching over to the Liberator as soon as I need to speak to the other Chris because I didn't get any Viking blood wine. it's like, sir, sir, what is this? Come on now. Hey, Kern, good to see you. Oh man. And I need to formalize the. Speaking of Kern being here, we need to formalize the creation of the what do you call it? Specialty priest of Sehanin Moonbow. I've got it together. I need to make sure that there's nothing missing from it, and then, and go from there. Scottish Chef, good to see you. Oh, GaryCon was a lot of fun. Running the 3 games and having so many people that I knew in them. It was so much fun having 5 people in the campaign at the last game that I honestly did not feel bad at all when the one person who is not part of it all ended up having to leave. It's like, I mean, it's sad that somebody had to leave, but at the same time, it just meant that I didn't have to worry about anybody not getting the inside jokes or inside story. Hey, Dragger here. Good to see you. All right. Where were we with the Liberator? Yeah, okay. I do think we decided on the Divine Hound Companion rather than Divine Mount. And then later, basically much later on, getting a Hawk Companion. I am on board with the resistances to charm and compulsion magics. I think I'm going to kind of model that after the Elven resistance of charms. But compulsion is another one. He recommends monks, barbarians, and a primordial gnome. I don't even know what a primordial gnome is. Oh man, I need to put in a thing for Summer Siege in there as well. See if I can get some new players for the campaign. Oh, that's an event. Okay, it's one of those race classes or race things. Yeah. Is that the one that's has the elemental powers? Because I remember Asher talking about it, and that one sounded way OP. I don't know if they redid it for the new printing of the Adventurer's Backpack. I've not gotten the new printing. I am curious about the new Adventurer's Spellbook when it comes out, not because I want it for the spells, because I do not want the renamed spells. I want my old 1E, 2E based, TSR named spells. However, I do like that they have, there's supposed to be the section with spell domains or spell schools and cleric domains, which is something I ended up having to do myself for specialty priests. If it's going to be in a book and I can just map it out, even better. That would make my life that much easier. I so want to do a dwarf specific rune class. I'm just I don't know. I'm still on the edge about making that a character class though. Just because of the fact that the way the runes are structured, it's not really a level. At last check anyway. I don't know if they redid it in the new book, but runes really didn't have like levels to them. So it's one of those things where you kind of had to be very careful. And it's like, all right, well, how do you decide? What's the advantages of leveling? I haven't figured out how to make that work to my satisfaction. Is what it kind of comes down to. So it's like one of those. Because of the Endless Quest book, Return to Brookmere Elves. Oh, Return to Brookmere Elves have always had giant weasels in my game. Oh, that's kind of fun. I like that, giant weasels. Hey, listen. Mayuso has his gnome knight who basically rides a giant badger. It is a badger, right? I'm not. I do believe it was a badger, whose name I can't remember. He was on Team. Oh man. Fun stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff. Yeah, as long as it doesn't completely break immersion, I'm on board. And the idea of, the biggest problem I have is, I tried to keep the gnomes away from being the silly version of the gnomes, but unfortunately, that's kind of the way they're written in CNC. They are a far cry from the original 1E 2E thing where they were dwarven cousins. I still try to do it to an extent, but it's not easy. But even then, they're a smaller race, so the idea of them riding something like a giant badger into Sweden, there we go, into battle is fine with me. Whatever, it works. Yeah, and it's funny because it's a game that really isn't well suited for that kind of movement during combat. It's like, it does make things a little trickier. But if I'm able to get that group together, that would be a cool group. The other group I need to get. It's funny you say that, Scottish Chef, because it occurs to me that I don't know that I ever played or ever had anyone. I mean, I was 95% of the time I was the DM in 1E, the 1E days. So on a rare occasion, my brother played one. That I don't doubt you. And the thing is, it's interesting in that I never quite realized it, but when you don't play something, yeah, okay, that sounds entirely plausible. It's kind of like, all right, well, why did you bother then if you're going to have it be very different from everything else? So gnomes are page 16 in the 1E Player's Handbook. Well, if you were playing a gnome back in the day, you weren't playing just you. I mean, you could play a gnome illusionist, but I mean, the other thing is Gary didn't like magic users either. He didn't understand. We were this was a topic of discussion on Jay's channel, I think, just the other day, where somebody brought up the fact that Gary did not like magic users at all. He never understood why someone would want to play one of them as opposed to. Oh, okay, yeah, it was. I good, thank you, Jay. Jay, I was. So I mean, yeah, no, I mean, uh, but I mean, even then, if you were playing one of the one of the demi humans, you're most likely playing multi class. So the illusionist thief or fighter illusionist thief or fighter illusionist fighter thief, whatever the case may be, or an assassin. Illusionist assassin was something to behold. Um, so as far as gnome racial bonuses, they didn't have any like +1 -1 to their stats. However, they did have magic resistance based on their Constitution score and infravision, and also they also shared the dwarven ability as far as underground. As far basically walls and underground depth and travel underground. So Jay, you mentioned UA 1E allowing multi-class illusionist assassins. I'm not seeing anything specifically prohibiting that in the 1E player handbook. Maybe it's under character classes that it specifies it. It doesn't give it as an example, but it also doesn't say that it didn't say that it wasn't allowed. Oh, well. Um oh man, just gotta love having to deal with typos and errors and but then again, I running CNC, it's kind of par for the course. Oh man. Um yeah, no, I'd have to look under the I'd have to look under the DMG for more information because I'm not seeing it here. But I do notice that all of the classes, well, hold on. Yeah, but you know something? It can't be, Jeff. It can't be the fact that it's a subclass because illusionist is a subclass as well. And illusionist in for the 1E player's handbook is definitely showing as being able to be multi-classed. Huh. That is so weird. Wait a second. But right on page 32 of the first edition player's handbook, it specifically says under multi-class character, cleric assassin. And then on page 33, it's got fighter assassin. So I'm not sure where that's coming from. I'm almost wondering if this is one of those things where people said well he didn't specifically note a given combination, so it's not allowed. Yeah, but wait, when you say, but okay, but no, my question is when you're talking about the an unearthed arcana, what's actually in unearthed arcana? Because I'm looking under the player's handbook, and assassins are definitely able to be multi-classed. Okay, yeah, something, and you're right. In for the first line of that is game assumes that only non or semi-human characters can be multi-class, and only certain class combinations are possible, depending on the race of the character. Although these are listed in the section dealing with the race of character. Huh. I it's weird. It's one of those, yeah. It's one of those things where that feels like extremely arbitrary with real nothing real behind it. Um, Actually, well, no, there is one possible route. Did the first edition gnome um, have a restriction on alignment? Jay, do you have any idea how quickly I decided some of the rules in D&D were BS and broke the rules? Oh my goodness. I very much spent after spending uh, a few months reading the Dungeon Master's Guide cover to cover before we finally got our hands on a copy of the Player's Handbook. There were so many things that I just said, nope, this is not how we're doing things. Oh, I if it did not make sense, I was I was not somebody to follow a rule just because it was written that way. Hey, Dark Elf Twilight, good to see you. I I mean, among the things that I immediately got rid of, um, the oh goodness, what was there? I think I immediately got rid of almost immediately got rid of the level restrictions for races and classes. I it never made any sense to me. I was just Yeah, I that was for me. That was one of the first things to go. Um, I also ran into serious problems with the whole stat restrictions. I was, I liked it better where you were the second edition method where you were rewarded for with XP for having what do you call it, bonus XP for certain stat levels, but the stat restrictions were wild. It's like I want people to be able to play these classes. Being subject to having these roles and having to be the right roles, just it was terrible. To this day, I still hate the first edition Bard. I've I For starters, I never was able to get people to stay with one character. We were constantly shifting who was playing with us. Grabbing people for however long and however long we could hold their attention. So the idea of the first edition Bard, which was so completely, utterly different from everything else in the game, is like, why? Why is this a thing? It's just the first edition stuff. It was like, yeah, no, we tossed out rules left and right when if it made sense, fine. Yeah, I mean it didn't make sense. It's not fun. I mean, if you're multi-classing, you're going to be you're going to be slowed down naturally anyway, just because of how much XP it took. But I just couldn't. I never liked it. It didn't make any sense that an elf could be lived to be 5,000 years old or whatever ridiculous number it ended up being if you didn't go with the full-on immortal elves. Exactly. There was, yeah, AD&D 1A. It's just I don't there and then Unearthed Arcana came out. I won't lie. I was once when Unearthed Arcana came out. Um, I know that there are people who are Gygaxian to their core, and that's fine if you are. Unearthed Arcana kind of took the if I wasn't already having issues with some of the choices, Unearthed Arcana just basically killed it for me. I was by at that point, I still collected the books as they came out. I enjoyed the Dungeoneer Survival Guide. The Wilderness Survival Guide I bought it and I really honestly had no use for it. It was a whole lot of stuff. I mean, it was interesting maybe from a describing different things, but I didn't need a book to tell me what the weather was going to be. Yeah, I mean, it's like it just you have an elf that's basically immortal. When you live, even if the elf is, even if elves, if you say you limit them to 3,000 years old, they could just periodically keep going back, and still level past, what any grand wizard could be, arch wizard or archmage or whatever you want to call it. I mean, honestly, my one of my first issues with first edition was magic user. Why on earth did they decide on the name? And again, I found out recently that Gary hated magic users in general, which probably explains why that class is such a damn. I mean, I'll say it up and magic user is a stupid name for a class. That's like calling a fighter a weapon wielder. Great, that's awesome. Or just might just call fighter fighting man or fighting. It's like they use magic, right? You've got an illusionist and magic user. Like what? Wizard. It's right there. It's right there. I mean, mage, wizard, whatever you want to call it. Magic user? Why? Just you're a human fighter. I like that. Oh, that's good. It's just I don't understand. I don't. It's I mean, I realize sorcerer in terms of D&D has a very specific meaning now, but you could have even gone sorcerer, back then, and nobody would have known any wiser. There were names for these types of, for that type of class, but no, magic user. Well, what the hell's an illusionist then? It's a magic user who deals in illusions. I know they did, but still, it's like, come on, spellcaster. It's like, so I honestly, a spellcaster would have been better. You know, call an arcane caster, if you want, or arcanist or something like that. But it just come on, it's like, really, just really. All right. Well, it's about that time because Jay has gone live or is going live soon. We need to check. I mean, and it kind of depends on how you wanted to just, describe how magic works in your world. There's the monk of tea. Oh boy. I mean, listen. I hear you on that. It was, I I became a fan when cantrips came about. Like, I don't necessarily need it to be unlimited, but the idea of an unlimited cantrip that does maybe 2 points of damage, I was on board with that because the idea of a wizard suddenly deciding to throw, or even worse, try to use a weapon in melee combat was just, what are you doing? It's like, one spell, you're done, huh? It's like, come on. I don't know. There are things that didn't make sense back then, and they honestly, in retrospect, I'm yes. Well, yeah. Well, cantrips actually started. Cantrips, I believe, started in 2E, but ascending AC, I'm on board with ascending AC all the time. Rollmaster, there we go. Oh man, well, I added the cantrips. I mean, granted, there was no damaging cantrips in 2E, so they're all basically utility spells. Um, but talking about Rollmaster, and somebody always recommends Hackmaster. All right, we do need to get a move on because Jay is starting, and I need to move over there. Last call for the giveaway. Exclamation point ticket to enter. My main games were AD&D, and then when I got to high school, Robotech. Palladium's Robotech. By the way, and in terms of D&D Hills I Will Die On, because I know everyone likes to blame 4E for this, D&D 3E is responsible for the gamification of, or the video gamification of, what do you call it, D&D. If you've played Neverwinter Nights, the original, you know what I'm talking about. First session of Cyberpunk Red tonight. Very nice. Very cool. All right. I am going to be closing the giveaway in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to go to stream ending and picking a winner. All right. Ollie Man, congrats. I will get that out to you hopefully sometime this evening if I remember because, squirrel. But otherwise, we're going to be raiding into Lord Gazumba. So hang out, please, for the raid. And I will see you on the other side playing Durgam Flintblade tonight. Wish me. Oh, he's restarting. All right, hold on. Going to hang out for a second because I want to make sure that I go into him while he's actually there. That would not be very useful. Oh. Yeah, I am very much with this character not dying because he is a fighter 8, thief 9, and if he survives this session, or probably this session and Saturday session, because I think normally Jay does experience points after the two of them when it's a double session thing. He should be thief 10. He's still got a ways to go for fighter 9. Oh, and of course, not up yet. This is always fun. Yes, he does. Which is why it takes a good long time. I wouldn't want to be honestly. I don't get to use my thieving abilities enough in that game. So if he didn't split the XP evenly between those classes, I would be something around like I'd be like fighter 12, thief 4, or something even, maybe even worse. Oh man. Talk about awkward. Exactly. It's still weird in that game the fact that in a lot of sessions my fighter thief is like kind of frontline fighter when he's wearing, I think he's wearing either leather armor or studded leather or something like that. Oh, ay. Oh God, Dark Elf, you're killing me. Oh, Dave Shadow Dark Games. I enjoy playing in those sessions, but the idea that your character is likely not going to survive more than 2 or 3 sessions, if the character doesn't die in the very first session, it's a little disconcerting. Yeah, 3 priests. We had 3 priests in that one session, and it was still a miracle that we didn't lose anybody. To be honest, I'm still not entirely sure how we didn't lose somebody in that session. But again, it was Mostly because of the fact that we had three priests. I Jeff, it was kind of interesting that after that session where we had the three priests and my fighter was one of the others that I, I I saw the notes afterwards and realized that the rest of the party that I had that Quiga last joined with got TPK'd. I am going back to the window because he said it's going to be another 2 minutes or so. Yeah, oh man, I 90s and 2000s comic strips. Ooh, oh, ow! Jay got caught with an update thing. That sucks. Been there. I read that update and I'm like, they're all dead. And I didn't even realize that when we were doing the adventure because that really would have made my half orc fighter even more cautious. I think part of the problem is I know like eventually I'll get into an adventure and the character's going to die, and I'm okay with that. I don't know what I'd want to play next. It's like I guess I could just go through and look at all the different random options. A priest. uh, all right, let me do this while I'm waiting for him. Oh, do a cut. Get Harley Man his win. Well, I have my current character is a fighter. You ordered some prints from Clyde Caldwell. Ooh, 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 ooh. I will admit that I mean, granted, it was in large part being a teenage boy, but Clyde Caldwell's art was always tops on my list because they were something, that's for sure. I did not realize that Clyde did the Streams of Silver cover. Interesting. All right, Jay's up, so we are going to raid. I need to put together an actual ad. It will definitely be part of the campaign still, the my standard campaign, but I do need to get that together. All right, we are ready to raid. So back to stream ending we go, and thank you everyone for hanging out. See you in a few minutes on the other side.